Keep going.
Oh! Billy Sticks Knicks, drummer, band leader, old Motown musician, and I do mean old.
It's your man Ricki David, music producer.
How Matakwa P, Miama Lakota, which is the first words from this project, Junghetto, spoken by Russell Means. My name is Jeff Harrell, and I play drums. I also play congas on this production. I'm also producing this, and I'm just, like I say, happy to be here.
Chandra Williams, vocalist, and I'm keeping all these guys in line. That's what I do.
Billy had a CD in 05, 06, Junghetto. And there were two pieces off that. The first piece off the record and the last piece. The first one was original Junghetto. The last piece was Junghetto's Call, which was an instrumental. And we kind of put them two together. We put the two together, and we wanted to update it with a hip hop bent to it. There was a strong hip hop leaning in the first place, but. That's why I approached Ricki and said to bring a modern hip-hop feel to it, a vibe to it, and then we just kind of took it from there and related it to the issues that are going on in this country, you know, with Ferguson and the Garner case out in Staten Island, and some of the other things going on, and kind of brought it up to date with this, and with a mission to appeal to everybody, to bring not only the young folks in who are hip hop fans, but also we wanted to bring the old folks in too. I mean old folks, I mean by generation of 50 and above who didn't really grow up with hip hop, and but now with us doing this project, we're hoping to kind of bring that crowd into it and get a whole group of older generation fans and kind of bring hip hop into their mix too. How's that?
Can I just say that it's really interesting, sad but interesting that the original Junghetto was what, 2005?
Yeah, but it goes back further than that.
The sad part is that it's still relevant. That recent news is still this problem. It still makes sense. The song still relates to something that's happening like right now, and it's sad that after all these years we still haven't gotten past.
Man, it's that's why we did the old school and new school. It relates from taking it back to what went on until till now. Now it's a whole different ball game. Like now it's just man, they just killing little kids just to, what was that the one you were saying something about, like little kids playing with a BB gun?
That was the kid in Cleveland.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying, they just you know, these police going around just trying to shoot everybody, and
they keep getting away with it.
Keep getting away.
So what's to deter?
Then you had that little Trayvon Martin thing going on. Who was Mike Brown? You got everything that's going on. Then it just keep going on.
But there's two sides to it too, and I don't want to just keep harping on the police brutality of it too, because As a journalist, I've worked with police department, including the New York Police Department, for 10 years, and my journalism, my police reporting goes back almost 20 years now, and you know, there's two sides to this thing too, and I think people, the chant that we're doing in the jazz breakdown on this, Matako Yeo Yasin, it's Lakota for we are all related. And that's one thing I think this country is kind of getting away from, is like that we're all in this together. And if you want to relate this to the outside world, you know, there's other forces in this world that want to kill us. And if we divide between us versus them, between us versus the police, or the police versus us, then it's just going to keep us, it's that whole saying, divide and conquer. And these other people are going to be able to, you know, come in and we're going to see 9/11 again. We're going to see these other, you know, these other things going on here in this country. And that's why we need to stick together. And so I don't want this to be like a thing that's just one-sided against the police, because it works both sides. People who break the law deserve to get arrested, and that's what the police are for.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that the whole thing is out of control right now, and it's in a spiral.
Right, and I have respect for the police. They run in the direction of gunfire. They go towards danger when nobody else does.
When everybody's running away from
Right,
it.
I have so much respect for that. I guess the only problem is, and a lot of people that are in these situations that have been in the news lately, they aren't saints. These kids have been in trouble. They've been doing things that are wrong, but it's just, a life is a precious thing, and so I think that maybe we need to step back and, you know, start maybe retraining. There needs to be renewed respect for police and authority, and so maybe something like this can get a conversation going.
We need to start talking to each other again and quit shooting each other.
Yes. Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah,
It is simple.
It is simple. Put the guns away.
But it's not that simple to say though. Like,
Oh, simple to
It's
say.
simple to
It's not
say, it's not simple to do.
Man, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, there's a mentality, you know, in this country too, and Billy and I have talked about this a lot in our own private conversations. You know, this country was founded on racism, and this country was founded on stealing land from my ancestors, bringing their ancestors over here to work for free as slaves. And that mentality, just like you were alluding to a little while ago, it's sad that mentality still holds true today from a control, you know, from a government control point of view. And it not only holds true, it's getting stronger. And that has to back off.
Yeah, I think that's the scariest part.
That's a real scary part.
That's it.
Well, you know, the key here, it's sad to say, but our so-called educational system, it all begins with education. And the tragedy here stems from the fact that our school systems are not teaching true history. You come out once a month, February, that's Black History Month. Well, the reason I don't jump up and down for that is because if you teach true history to me in school, you'll be teaching me Black history. And I'm not going to get all up into that. Nobody talks about the African American who invented these signal lights out here on the street. Nobody talks about the African American who invented that fold-up bicycle. Nobody teaches these youngsters about the African Americans who, the first African American, who was the first hero during the American Revolution?
Crispus Attucks.
Crispus Attucks, an African American. Nobody talks about the African American who really founded the city of Chicago, Mr. DeSavo. Nobody teaches these youngsters this in school. So what do we have? We say racial problem, I say it's a social problem, because the children that are not white, black, no matter what color you are, this has nothing to do with color. They are not being taught the truth. We are being taught by a bunch of hypocrites. This country was built on lies, deceit, and hypocrisy, and it's still holding true. Because, like I said, education is the key, no matter how you cut it. If they were to teach truth, true history in school, like when they were teaching me about Hannibal crossing the Alps in school, instead of showing me a blonde white man with long blonde hair, and this was in my history book, coming out of Africa on an elephant, come on, show me the real Carthaginian Hannibal, who was a black man, who was an African in the first place. That's what that was all about. Don't sugarcoat and lie with all of this. And I'm not getting into a racial thing. All I'm doing is saying the truth, like most of our schools should be teaching. That's all. The truth. Teach the truth in school, and you'll solve a lot of these social problems, not racial, man.
Everybody. I'll tell you the same. I'll tell the story that I've been telling, you know, recently, or the past couple of days. The other day, my girlfriend had her daughter and her granddaughter, her 7-year-old granddaughter over, and her 7-year-old granddaughter is mixed race, and and I'm kind of like looking at her, like gauging her interest in different things. And I had a rough track of this CD on, and during the first part with Ricki's hip hop verse on it, she was bouncing up and down and dancing, and I mean, you know, she was smiling, and you know, I asked her, I said, "Do you like that?" And she was like, "Yeah," and yeah, you know, so we're trying to not, we're grabbing 7 on up on this, you know, and again, you know, we also want to bring in people from like our generation and older that don't, let's be honest with you, that really never liked hip-hop, never got into hip-hop, but we're trying to attract them too into this with basically what we see as a universal message, and also some of the music, that jazz breakdown in the middle, that's going to bring, that's also going to perk up some ears from people that really, I don't think are going to be thinking in terms of the genre, you know, they're just going to be like, wow, you know, hopefully.
Well, yeah, that's why everybody's pointing at me.
Yeah.
But anyway, the way I'm viewing this, we were really brought together. And I'll say it this way. Our Heavenly Father brought us all together. Here I am, an old, well, now 80 years old.
Happy belated.
Jeff came to me, he, and after listening to, well, first of all, that CD, my original CD, the one thing that I wanted most of all was to have someone, a good percussionist, playing congas on it. I ended up meeting him out of Clear Blue Sky, Jeff, congas, percussionist. He turned me on to Ricki here. Ricki is new school. Me, needless to say, I'm old school, and proud to be here to say I'm old school. But the two came together, and the reason I feel this can and will be a success is because, first of all, the age, I'll say age bracket here. And the other thing, Jeff said it, we're not concerned with trying to get one age group. We're concerned with getting, I'll say it this way, remember the old Christmas song, 2 to 92? Well, that's what we're dealing with. We're trying to get from 2 years up to age 92 interested in what we're doing. Not because we're interested in making a bunch of money, I hope that we do, but that wasn't our primary objective. The primary objective is to deliver a message to not just the community, the whole country, and the whole world. And personally, I feel it's going to work because this young man, Jeff, And now this young lady over here with all of this talent, because the vocals and the rapping, the speaking, what we're saying is the key to the whole thing. And this country has enough people, in fact the world, but especially this country has enough people who can sit down, listen to what we're saying, and know and understand exactly what we're saying. Beginning with Ricki. New school, I'm old school. And that CD, by the way, goes back, that was, part of that was written in 1972, and it was completed literally in 1992. Recorded, re-recorded in 2005 really. But that's how long we've had that. And thanks to Jeff and Ricki, I feel that we have something that really will become a success because of the nature and the message that that is trying to get across to people. Not this race, that race, the black race, white race, yellow race, orange race, red race, the human race. When God made us, that's what he made, the human race.
I'm in it for the music, but I'm not above the money. I'll just be flat bread honest right now.
Wow.
Yeah. But here's the nice catch to that is that, you know, if we do make a lot of money off of it, then there's going to be a lot of people watching it, and that's what I want. I want a lot of people to hear this because a lot of people need to hear this.
Amen.
Yeah, you got to draw that crowd, draw that audience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the message is about.
Yep.
Is drawing it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, man, it's a time and place for everything. This project is pretty much is delivering a message to everybody. So the time is now that we're going to get ready to drop it. But
we're going into mastering this week. We'll be starting the mastering this week. But we got pretty much everything done today. I mean, I'm you know, as far as the vocals was the last part of the process, and I'm hoping. I don't want. Nah, you know what? I'm not even gonna say it. Let's just say I'm hoping to get it out as soon as possible, because the message is now. You know, the issues are going on now, and I just pray that nothing else happens between now and the time we do get out. You know?
Man, it's gonna be a lot more. It's gonna be a lot more.
We're also.
It's time to release it. So I mean,
I'm also trying to get in his ear too, to keep his eye open for a video. We want to do a video with this too, you know, and so.
Y'all better be on the lookout.
Yep.
Junghetto.
Yep.
Junghetto's call.
I'll be better than The Godfather.
Wow.
There you go. Is there any special thanks you guys want to give out? You know, any shout outs, things like that?
Well, I'd like to say thank you for having me here. It's always nice to be surrounded by talent, and it's I take it as a compliment that you know that you guys included me on your project. So thank you.
Chandra, thank you much, but I got news for you. We should be thanking you for being willing to do this for us. This young lady is a dynamite, talented young lady, and I said it earlier. Here is a young lady who she's with the Motown group, the Motown machine. This young lady is at a level, not only as a performer, but with her stage presence. And I'm not knocking anyone, but here's a lady that's at a level in her performing that matches what we used to see and what I used to be involved with at the Apollo Theater in New York, the Howard Theater in D.C., the Regal Theater in Chicago. She's that level of an entertainer. Believe me. Miss Chandra Williams, thank you, Mom.
Wow.
Give you the spotlight.
Okay, you turned that back on me, didn't you?
But I want to thank everybody, that came upon this project. We couldn't do it without each other, so.
I'll say my one last thing. I am thankful that our Heavenly Father brought us together the way He did. This young brother, this middle brother, that young lady.
I just like it you keep calling me young.
Because, seriously, I'm still in awe of the talent of this young man and what he's doing. I really am. And as you talk about a percussionist, Jeff is the one that I had been waiting for all of this time and didn't really realize it until we got hooked up. Because I've been sitting around South Bend for years, and in fact I told him, waiting for a percussionist that I know feels and can hear and can play the instrument. And he is just that. All this talent here, man, that our Heavenly Father brought into my life, and I am sure thankful at this age.